Hello and welcome back to the Rekt Capital channel, and welcome to today's market update on Bitcoin and the market leaders such as Ethereum, Litecoin and a few other altcoins like Link, Chainlink and Tezos XTZ. So before we dive into the episode, before we dive into this chart right over here, I just wanted to announce that I'm going to be giving away my risk management course. And this risk management course is $97. Usually it is a 5-star course. All of these ratings are 5-star, and that's fantastic news to me because I want to be providing you guys with quality content only. And the fact that I'm able to give away this course to you guys for free is thanks to the world's #1 social trading app, which I'm partnering with, eToro. eToro is one of the most well-known companies in the crypto space, and they are on the forefront of bringing crypto into mainstream media. eToro has done such a great job for the crypto space in bringing crypto a little bit closer to the mainstream, and that's because they have a fantastic product. It's the #1 social trading app for a reason. You can connect with traders on the platform, and of course you can trade cryptocurrencies there as well. So thanks to eToro, you can get the cryptocurrency risk management course from me for free, and here are the instructions to do so. This giveaway offer is only available for US residents at the moment, but if you'd like to make the most of it, visit the eToro link in my description down below, create an account, deposit $50 to your new eToro account and make a purchase of any cryptocurrency that you'd like, and just DM me with the verification of this transaction and I'll give you a 100% discount code for my course. And that's about it for the giveaway. Thank you so much to eToro for making this possible. And on a personal level, I'm just super excited that I'm partnering with them. And what a better way to kickstart the partnership with a giveaway. So feel free to make the most of that giveaway. It's a fantastic course. I've put in a lot of time and effort into it, and you can get it for free today. So definitely check out the link in the description down below and sign up for your eToro account. So let's dive right into the video. Right over here is the supply zone at around 7,250, and we've just got a weekly close below this level for the 6th time in a row. For 6 straight weeks we've been getting these consistent closes on the weekly time frame below the supply zone resistance, and this is a very important thing to bear in mind because many people might be thinking to themselves, is this resistance area weakening? And the thing to bear in mind when answering that question is that we've seen a lot of FOMO wicks every single week into this resistance, but these FOMO wicks have been actually getting shorter and shorter to the upside. It's really nice to see the sort of pattern in the wicks because it shows to us that this wicking behavior being extreme FOMO emotion, this extreme emotion is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So what is this telling us about the psychology? Because we need extreme emotion to breach a strong resistance as this one, because the fact that people are FOMOing and price isn't breaking this level is a concern to people who ever want to go long or be bullish on Bitcoin from this point. Because these FOMO wicks, this sense of FOMO, this feeling of urgency of missing out on Bitcoin is getting smaller and smaller. This sense of urgency is decreasing with each passing week, and we just need that urgency more than ever to breach past this resistance. And as you can see from this latest weekly candle, we don't have that urgency. That emotional impetus is quite weak at the moment. So that's something to bear in mind in terms of market psychology. Is the market psychology tilting in favor of the bulls? I wouldn't necessarily say so, and I'll showcase to you guys why I think that way. Because if we just invert the chart, and by inverting the Bitcoin price chart, all I'm doing is just turning it upside down. So essentially speaking, if you just turn it upside down, if you invert the chart, then you can actually see here what these wicks actually mean. Because in the previous chart, I showcased to you guys what a FOMO wick means diving into that resistance, right? We're seeing a lessening in that emotional urgency. Well, if we tilt the chart here, if we invert the chart, it tells a different story. And the story is this: we're seeing sell side momentum press price into 7,250, which looks like a strong demand zone. These wicks aren't FOMO wicks, not on this inverted chart. On the inverted chart, it just shows to us that buyers are very happy to scoop price up all the way back to this level over here. And in the following week, the same thing happens again. This demand zone triggers a cascading effect of buy orders, prompting price to return back to this level. And the same thing happens here. So these wicks are essentially It's a good way to think of it as this being a rocket, right? And this being the exhaust of that rocket, the fire that comes out and propels the rocket towards the upside. And whenever a rocket tries to land on a base, right, on this demand zone, whenever it tries to land, it comes from space somewhere over here, and we're seeing this exhaust slowly tapering off as it tries to settle the rocket onto the base. And I know this kind of feels like a far-fetched analogy, but it really is useful, really helpful in visualizing the slowing in the sell side momentum, because this momentum truly is slowing down as we see this rocket try to place itself on this demand zone just to touch base and stabilize before refueling and then rocketing off towards the upside once again. So we're seeing in these wicks, the psychological story here is that the sell side momentum is slowing down. The buyers are accumulating slowly but surely. There isn't much sell side momentum to press price lower, not at the moment at least. And we're seeing the very beginnings of a U-shaped cupping price action. This is the first half of that U, and once we see buyers price strength confirmation come into the market right over here, this stability in the form of accumulation at these levels, we'll see the second half of the U form. So we'll see a U-shaped reversal pattern and a reversal towards the upside. So I hope this inverted chart makes sense. It does showcase quite a lot of interesting things, coupled together with that FOMO chart, that first chart that I showcased to you guys. This chart gives us an idea that we might not breach this resistance. Because remember, this is a resistance. This is the normal chart. This is 7,250. We are seeing some struggling over here in Bitcoin's price action. 7,250 really is important to directional bias. And as long as we're below 7,250, then we can expect another major low. And that's been my stance for the past few weeks. And it's not going to change anytime soon unless we see a breach of 7,250. So going forward, I'm going to be looking at this inverted chart to see how graceful and how peaceful this curling up will be, because this sort of curling up and stabilization at this area, at this price point right over here, just showcases to us accumulation, bargain buyers buying at this region. But of course, because this is an inverted chart, you have to understand that this is actually sell side pressure potentially mounting right over here after a period of extended wicking into this sell side resistance. And that's about it for Bitcoin today. I just wanted to dive into Ethereum, one of the market leaders here. It's a fantastic response from the bottom of the ascending triangle right over here, a great rebound, and now we got a weekly close over here, a weekly close above the blue diagonal resistance. And the thing to bear in mind here is that every time Ethereum has seen a deviation past this blue diagonal resistance, we've seen a fantastic rally towards the upside. So breakouts past this blue diagonal resistance result in really strong deviations towards the upside in price. Now, the fact that we've seen a weekly close above the blue diagonal is fantastic news. We could even see this week being a candle where we just see a pullback into this support. It doesn't need to necessarily do that, but that is a technical sign that's worth watching for just in any case. A pullback into this blue diagonal to test it as a support. It's never been done before. We've only seen a clean breakout. We've seen a clean breakout in the past. We don't tend to see retests on higher time frames, maybe on the daily, maybe on lower time frames such as the 4 hour. We might see a test of this as a support, but that's not really standard behavior on a higher time frame when it comes to this blue diagonal resistance. So that's all I'm going to be watching for, this potential pullback, and just to see how that stability over here is going to continue, because we have to remember, if Bitcoin's going to continue hovering at these highs, then Ethereum and other altcoins can continue to do well. But the thing to bear in mind is, for how much longer will Bitcoin be able to hover below 7,250? Because as long as it does that, Ethereum and other altcoins will do quite well, most likely. But we need to bear in mind that Bitcoin is in a precarious situation right now, and we need to look at Bitcoin first and foremost, because if Bitcoin starts to retrace, then the altcoin market will probably suffer. But in any case, on a technical level, with Bitcoin doing what it's doing at the moment, Ethereum looks quite promising. And the same thing goes for Litecoin. We've seen this sort of historical tendency of closing on the weekly above the $40.80 region, and every time it pulled back into this level for a support test, it's wicked below $40.80, but ultimately resulted in a nice uptrend towards the upside. And that's what I'm watching for this week. We got that pullback into support of $40.80, and now I just want to see volume come in. I want to see buy side volume come in to prop that uptrend up and move Litecoin into higher price levels. That's all I'm watching for. I'm looking for that buy side volume to come in, and we have to look at Bitcoin first, because if Bitcoin is going to start tumbling, then Litecoin will probably lose its structure. So it's all about buy side volume. If people are going to be comfortable about Bitcoin at these current levels, then we're going to see more risk taking, more risk seeking behavior in altcoins such as Ethereum and Litecoin. So at the moment, the week is young, the psychology still hasn't evolved, so that's the psychology that I'm watching for going forward. And this is Chainlink, one of the alts that I've been looking at over the past few weeks, talking about it systematically on my Twitter. Recently, I was looking for a break past this supply zone over here, because once we got that, we'd see a return to this level, this confluent resistance area, which is the trend line and the horizontal resistance. This is a confluent resistance area, a rejection point, and we got that. We got that 12% movement from this supply zone to that confluent resistance area. And this is actually something I was talking about in my article. I don't know if you guys remember. I covered all these different altcoins, all these different setups in that article, and this is essentially the setup that's actually playing out, has played out so far, because now Link has revisited this confluent resistance area. It's rejected a bit, but that's about it from me for Link. I'm not going to be doing anything unless maybe we see a breach of this level, but so far I'm content with what's happened. I'm happy with the trade. Let's move on to Tezos. Tezos has also had a fantastic rally, something I also covered in the article a week ago. Tezos rallied into a resistance right over here, and this is the final resistance before Tezos is able to revisit this red box over here, this supply zone. So this is the final resistance it needs to break before experiencing another 10% towards the upside. But of course, we got that weekly close below this resistance, which makes it a bit of a precarious situation. So I just like to see this red level become a support on lower time frames before considering anything, because this is a good setup for an additional 10% as long as we hold this red level as a support. At the moment, it is figuring as a resistance, and the fact that we've seen this become a resistance on the weekly chart isn't a very bullish sign, so I just want to see some things evolve before taking a long position. It is a bit of a precarious situation, and as long as this continues to be a resistance, I'm not going to be too interested in Tezos at the moment. And that's about it for today's market update. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. Thank you so much for watching today. Please consider dropping a like, of course, if you enjoyed the episode, and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. I'm Rekt Capital, and I'll speak to you in the next one. Speak soon.